Hello everyone and welcome to this International Wheelchair Rugby Championships Canada Cup 2018. Steve Erickson, Adam Frost, our pleasure to bring you the call for today's game. Adam, first off, a couple powerhouses out here. What should we expect?
I think we can look forward to a competitive team between these two games. It's a rematch of the bronze medal game from Rio 2016 where Japan edged Canada by 3 or 4 goals to win the bronze medal.
So naturally, Canada wants a little bit of redemption on this game right now.
They'll be out for a little bit of revenge if they can get it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that that would be in the nature of the beast, so to speak. And they work their way back down. Nice play to go across the end and get a point on the board right there. Game's tied right now at 7:38 remaining first period so far. And it's played exceptional long dump out pass all the way straight up the floor back down to Cadwell. Cadwell goes back down, looks, stops, turns, holds on. Does the 360 spinorama right there as he passes this one all the way back over again to Whitehead. Whitehead had control of it. Now they wait again. They're getting back. Whitehead's trying to get free, unable to do so right now, and he still stays with him. Cadwell is wide open. Couldn't get the ball back over to Cadwell. Instead of that, he dished it back out to Morrow. Morrow has it. Looks, spins again. Looks, so he gets himself wide open and free again from Kishi. Kishi wakes. A couple players collided, locked up and tagged wheels. Now they go across the line and they get one down. A nice play by Cadwell to get across the line to set that one back up, Adam.
Yeah, that was a good possession by Canada. They were able to take advantage of Mike's height and get the ball over half easily, but Japan was tight on key defense there, and it was difficult for Canada to punch it in.
Very much. We watch EK go all the way down, pretty much coast to coast on that play right there to get across the line and get the game tied at 2. So right now, even up game right now. Both teams just sort of being very tentative, feeling each other out and want to check things out. Heavy collision course. That's the one thing we noticed earlier on. You'll watch an awful lot of heavy hits, and they are extremely physical out here. We watched that earlier on in the games today out here that were played, and Whitehead comes back down. He is bumped off of the ball very easily by Ike. Ike stays with him. Also going after him is Izeki. Izeki's going back after him, looks fast around, backed all the way over to the left side. Does he dangle across? He does so, gets it back, and Morrow gets it back down and takes him up by 1. 3-2 right now for Canada.
Good vision by Whitehead there to see Morrow in the corner.
One thing you'll notice about the team from Japan is they are extremely physical and they really hit hard and heavy and try and take out the opposition as best they can. Ike comes down, gives it back all the way over this time to Izeki, and he gets across the line to tie it. They're just basically trading points right now.
They are. I know both coaches of these teams, and I know the Japanese coach likes to score quick goals, and Japan's built to play a speed game, so we probably see lots of goals this afternoon.
Yeah, I was talking to a coach for Japan, Kevin Orr, earlier on. He was telling me all about his travels throughout the game and how it's all unfolded.
Yeah, he's been around for quite a while. One of his old guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Age is only a number. That's what I tell everybody anyway. Yeah. Back around again, waits. Travis Morrow has control for Canada. Throws this one back inside again to get it back to Michael Whitehead. Whitehead reaches up for it. Now they just left this one back around to Cody Cadwell. Cadwell takes his time. Looks pushed off of the ball very easily by Izeki. He stays with him. Not going to give him much to play on right there. And you watch the physical ability for some of these players from Team Japan. They really throw and hit hard, fast, and furious. Bangling across the line once again, going back inside. Nice play just to saunter across the line.
Yeah, that was good pressure defense there by Japan on Canada. And Caldwell showing his range and accuracy to hit Whitey in the corner there.
Now they give it a long pass. Will he catch it? Sure he will. A couple of hops straight down the floor, and Izeki will get control of this one and put it back up again. Trading, still at 4 each.
A reasonably easy goal for Japan there. If they score at will and Canada keeps struggling to get it over the line, I think it'll take its toll on the team in the long run.
Well, this is basically going to be I guess you would say a game or a test of endurance for both teams too.
Yes, second game of the day for both teams, so endurance will play a factor by the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, Canada played earlier. Oh, we've got a young lady doing the game out there. I just recognized that right now.
Yeah, referees from all around the world, both sexes. We're an equal opportunity sport.
Well, nothing wrong with that. And, of course, they can go on right now. They're doing great jobs. They're working in the NFL. And if they can work in the NFL, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Doesn't that stand for another football league?
Another football league, exactly. So timeout by Canada there to avoid the 12-second violation. So they've got about 30 seconds on the shot clock to work with here.
Yeah, they really work, and that's the one thing I've noticed throughout the course today is the teams really utilize that to their advantage too, that taking the timeout whenever they get the proper opportune time.
Yeah, it's you get 4 timeouts that teams generally use during the game for sort of, we call them get out of jail free cards. And the teams that use those instead of turning it all over tend to have success.
Back around again. Boy, oh boy. We talked about how heavy some of these players hit, and that's the one thing I was shocked earlier on in the game today with Japan. I didn't realize that they were that physical.
Oh, the speed and the power that these guys can put into their hits nowadays. It's quite impressive to watch. And,
very much.
Makes me wish that I was 25 years old again so I could be out there crashing around with them.
They're just going back the other way this time. Zeke trying to get back. Oh, what's he going to do? Cuts back. This time over to the right side. Goes back. Goes to the left. Cuts in on one wheel, and that time he slides it inside.
Yeah, did a good job of getting Canada moving just a little bit on their goal line and found a hole to punch it through.
So Travis Morrow has it, gets it, inbounds the ball, back to Whitehead. Whitehead looks, turns, stops, still spins around. A couple of 360 plays right there. Now he just throws it a one-hopper straight forward as they work their way all the way up. Mid-floor this time, and they're coming their way back down. Desjardins, he goes back down. Desjardins just throws this one back behind. They turn it and give it back around to Whitehead again. And Whitehead goes all the way over this time on the right side. But Whitehead passes it back over to Morrow as Morrow cuts back to the middle now. Throws it inside, back to Whitehead. Just patiently backpedals inside over the line to get another point on the board.
I think that's Mike's favorite play, to get on the post up on the goal line and back across the line for an easy goal. Use his height.
Yeah, that's a couple times we've seen him go back and grab it, and he just pretty much backs his way inside. Cross the line, they go back down. A couple of players collide. That's the one thing. These players are so agile, and the ability out here absolutely impresses me.
Yeah, the rugby chairs obviously have a bit of camber in those wheels, which allows you to turn your chair more quickly, and with some of the trunk function we're seeing in the game nowadays, it allows for some good entertainment.
Some of the heavy hits and that we've been seeing so far, boy oh boy, they sure look like they could jar your teeth.
You can feel it in your innards. There's no doubt about it.
I don't doubt that at all. So tell us really quick, Adam, while they're doing whatever they're doing out there, tell us about your involvement in the sport and the game, and what your involvement actually is.
Well, I got involved in wheelchair rugby in about 1992 here in BC, and played for our provincial team for a number of years. Was a part of Team Canada when they won the gold medal in 2002 in Sweden, and transitioned into a coach after that, and have been coaching ever since. I had the privilege of coaching both of these teams at some point in time over the last few years, and now I am a talent identification coach for Canadian wheelchair rugby. So.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Has there been one highlight so far?
Well, the gold medal as an athlete in Sweden was by far, and I think that as a coach, a couple of them, medal in Beijing was a pretty memorable moment as well. So.
It's great. It's nice to see everybody getting involved. Canada's going to go back after this one. They grab it, they steal it, they go across the line and get one more. Nice play. Yeah. Braden Trotman goes inside, literally.
Looked like a bit of a difficult exchange on the give and go there, which led to the turnover. Yeah,
it looked like a broken play coming out from Japan as they were trying to get it up the floor.
Yeah.
So they're back down again, waiting for this one. Normatsatsu, he had it. Waits. Normatsatsu stays with his man. They play and continue to go back down the other way this time. The fans come to life. Trotman has control. Looks, waits. One hopper. Just easily gives that one. Now they run the pick again and taking off of the ball. Normatsatsu stays with him. Now they throw it back around, turning, trying to set things back up. Good verbal discussion right there by Lavoie. Fabian Lavoie looks, sets it back up, gives the play. At the back end, trying to throw it over top of everybody. And does he get across? Sure he does. That was a simple, well played, but well guarded, like a quarterback working their way inside the zone.
Yeah, that was a good play by Brandon and Fabs. I think this is Brandon's first minutes of the tournament, so good to see him out there. And I think, this is probably Canada's fastest lineup, and it's led to a couple of turnovers, so good job.
Well, it's been a fast-paced, fast-tempo game so far, the way it's all unfolded so far.
Yeah, well, like I said before, I know that's how these coaches like to run things, and continue to see that.
Yeah, not a lot of whistles so far either.
Which is fine by me.
Back all the way over far side. You can see them when they collide. The chairs actually at times come right off of the floor.
Yeah. Momentum will bring your back wheels up.
So they're back there waiting and taking their time. Fabien Lavoie holds onto it. Looks, trying to set something up. Who's wide open in front is Trotman. Trotman goes inside, reaches forward out of his reach. He slips and slides back, but he wasn't going to get that unless he had a net.
Yeah, Brandon really needs to make contact with the chaser when he's going into the key, because that's what allows the Fabs to be able to swing around and work that 2-on-1 in the corner. So.
Well, you've got to work it, and obviously they've practiced that and try to utilize that skill to their advantage all the time they can.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's something they'll look at after the game and try and fix for future opportunities.
So I think we have a timeout called right now. I think we're going to have a substitution coming in as well for Japan.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Substitution coming in for Japan.
Yeah, Japan's still going to run its high-low with Ike and Shimakawa here. Daisuke is going to have a short rest.
Well-deserved rest. So far he's had a real good shift on the floor.
Yeah, well, not just this game. He's been, might be one of the best. Well, has been one of the best players of the tournament so far. So.
And they rely on him. They really rely on him as best as they can. Now they come back down all the way up the floor the other way. This time, Ike comes down. Ike comes in, looks all by himself, and slides right across. And, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Games tomorrow as well here. We'll get to the games in the next little while and tell you who's playing when and where and what times and what court. So they wait, inbound the ball, giving it back all the way over this time. Lavoie has control. Lavoie was bumped off the ball. Heavy hit, throw him back inside. Normiatsu. Now they come back the other way, straight down. Trotman, a one-hopper, back all the way over on the far left side. Did he get it? Yes, he managed to grab this one. Hirschfield throws it back. Now Hirschfield takes his time. Trying to set somebody up, passes it inside, and they just march easily across after he give it to Lavoie. Nice play by Hirschfield to hold on that one.
Yeah, that's what makes Trevor one of the best Class 1s in the world, his ability to make plays like that. That was a tough pass that Brandon gave him, and he scooped it up pretty well with his right hand.
Yeah, the last game we saw those type of plays happen. It was tough to maintain possession of it. They just couldn't grab it for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have those games, I guess.
So we have an equipment adjustment right now on the floor, and we mentioned earlier on about games tomorrow. Games tomorrow, Team Canada will play against the U.S. at 11 a.m. on Court 1, and also at 11 o'clock, Japan will take on Sweden. So both of these two teams are playing tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, so they have a quick turnaround for both of them, and 1,300 hours, which is 1 o'clock if you're used to the 24-hour clock. Australia and Denmark, 3 o'clock is U.S. and Sweden, and 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock tomorrow night is Canada and Australia again, and Denmark versus Japan on Court 2. Back down, they're going to roll across. They do. They get control of this one and put it back in. Made that one look easy. Shikamakwa had it and well played that one.
I haven't been counting, but the majority of these goals by the Japanese team have been scored in 10 seconds or less.
Yeah, really fast.
Yeah.
They wait. They're talking it. You can hear the coaching staff, Kevin Orr, talking to the players, tell them what they want to do. Now they go back down the far side once again. Trotman straight, looks. Trotman throws it over. A one-hopper back around to Lavoie. Lavoie cuts back the middle. Thinking about who he's going to get it to. Trying to set this one back up wide open as Rodriguez, but they couldn't give it to him. Now they go back and march across. Good play to set that one up, and Lavoie just steals it and goes inside.
Yeah, Trevor recognized that the Japanese players had crept over to the far cone a little bit and sealed off that corner, so Fabs could sneak through there.
Now they just take their time. Some of the players sit higher up in their chairs. Others sit a little bit lower.
Most athletes will sit lower just because of the function they have in their core. Ike actually struggles to bend his leg there, which is why he sits tall like that.
They go back. Are they going to get across? Not yet. They're not. Now they throw it inside. Will he get across the line? They're going to go with the ball. Back possession this time for Canada.
Looked like a penalty goal called by the referee there. Must have hit him on the hand as he was crossing the goal line.
Yeah, and she was right on the spot right there to make the call, too.
Yeah.
So they throw it straight forward. Spinning, turning, good 360 spinorama right there. And as he holds onto it, Fabien Lavoie holds on it, gives this one back out forward, back to Trotman. Trotman comes down, looks, takes his time, goes back, almost lost it that time and almost had it stolen by Ike. Maintained somehow. He maintained possession of that one. He gets control, still holds on it. Lavoie bumped off of the ball that time, but he stays with him. They're trying to get loose to set it back. They're going deep to the far side. Are they going to throw it to him? Couldn't get it back to him on that play right there. Now they get it back over to the far side, unable to get possession of the ball, and they steal it, and they go all the way up the other way. Straight down the floor. Coming back to the middle part of the floor this time. Shikamakwa Goes back down, gets it across the line. Does he get it? Yeah, goes a little bit of an interesting play right there, but he gets one and puts them up. And Japan leads by 1, 11-10.
That was a tough play by Brandon there. Last goal situation. He still had lots of time on the shot clock and tried to force that ball to Trevor, and resulted in Japan scoring a couple of goals back-to-back here, which is you never want to give up at the end of a quarter.
No, and sometimes you have to be very patient and not get yourself rushed, because when you get yourself rushed, that's when problems happen and things will happen. Yeah. So you talk about the world rankings right now. Canada and Japan's interested to see that Canada's ranked 3rd and Japan's ranked 4 in the top 4.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, Japan did win the bronze medal at Rio, but your world rankings are calculated on tournaments that you attend now and how you were finishing those results. So just based on Canada, what Canada's done over the last couple of years, that's why they're ranked higher than Japan until after this tournament, and rankings will.
How do the different floors differ in different venues that you go and you participate in? How do the different facilities attract each other?
Well, I mean, each facility is unique. You don't see a lot of differences in the floors because the international rules state that you have to have a specific type of floor to host this event. So you don't notice a different type of floor in most facilities. Sometimes you will get harder or not harder, but softer floors, which of course we don't like very much.
No, I would assume that would affect the tires, wouldn't it?
It doesn't affect the tires, but it does affect your ability to roll. Obviously, the friction is greater when you've got a softer floor, which of course slows you down and is harder on your shoulders. So.
No kidding. I could see that easily being a big factor, so the player would not want that one as well. So with all those travels and tribulations you've done right now, we talked about the one highlight of success. If there's anywhere that you could say, I'd like to go and play there again, where would it be?
Where would it be? Could I play again? I think that if I could do it again, I'd go back to our zonal championships in 2013 in South Africa and have another shot, the gold medal game against Australia. So.
Wow. Well, you must have obviously competed as a lot of these have, as against some pretty talented individuals right there, and talk about one talented right there, and Desjardins goes back again across the line to get another one.
Well, the game has definitely changed quite a bit over the last 10 years. I mean, when I was an athlete, the game was sort of just transitioning to become a high-performance sport. So I would say the game is a little bit quicker now than it was when I played. Of course, the shot clock has sped the game up quite a bit. There's nowhere near as much stalling as we used to see.
Did they never used to have the shot clock?
No, the shot clock started after the London 2012. So teams would, at about the 6-minute mark of each quarter, teams would actually hold on to the ball, and you'd see one goal in the last 2 minutes of the quarter, which as a coach was fun to coach, but as a spectator and fan of the sport, apparently it wasn't very much fun to watch.
No, and as an opposition player, you'd hate that too.
Yeah, well, if you're trailing, you hate it. If you're winning, you like it. So
yeah, it's got pro and con both ways. Yeah. But obviously the shot clock works to its advantage. I mean, they've got it in lacrosse for the 30-second shot clock, so that works in their favor as well. So that's a good feeling, just to know that they've actually implemented certain rules to speed up the game and make the game more beneficial for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Coach Orr here beside me was one of the people who was instrumental in having the shot clock added to the game.
Was that because he was on the losing end of a game and he didn't like it, or what?
It might have been.
Sometimes that's how rules get implemented, is, certain situations detect that, you've got to make specific rules.
Yeah. Anyway, it has been good for the sport. It certainly hasn't made it worse. I can't complain about it.
No, it's good. I enjoy it. That's good. And of course, it's always tough to say whether you put a 30-second shot clock or 40-second shot clock, but it's working in his favor right now, so it's obviously been more beneficial for the game. So, everybody that put that in should be applauded.
And, the athletes the athletes never complain about it, which means they like it, which, so as long as if the athletes are happy as well, then that's good.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? So they're going all the way back down again. EK comes back down. Waits, taking their time. Saunters across the line. Nice and respectable right there. So they get it back. We're in the second period right now. 7:01 remaining. And the score is 14-12 in favor of Japan right now. Lots of time left. Canada in possession of the ball as they'll march their way all the way back down. And Whitehead looks. He goes over. He's bumped off of the ball right there. Aikizi. He waits. What's he going to do? Thinks about it. Throws it back over. Does he get it? Yes, he does. He gets it across the line on the far side right now. So, again, one more. 14-13.
Yeah, good vision again by Mike to find Cody in the corner behind Pico there. So you got to take the holes that the defense gives you.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose when you're going to go and where you're going to go. So they go all the way back in again.
Another quick goal by Team Japan.
Well, that's the one thing I noticed about the game earlier on that I did with Japan and the U.S. is that Japan is a fast team. They like to transition really quick.
Yeah, they do. And it's nice to have the players that can run that type of offense or system.
Yeah, very much. Whitehead had that one. He got another one. So we're down by 1. Canada's trailing 15-14. Welcome to our viewers around the world, wherever you're listening in from. Hope you're enjoying the game. Adam Frost, Steve Erickson, our pleasure to be the call for today's game from the Richmond Olympic Oval in Richmond, BC, built for the 2010 Olympics and Paralympic Games in Vancouver. This facility was actually the site for the speed skating championship.
Yeah.
Packed. Nice building, nice place to take in, too.
Yeah, we used to train in here when they had the speed skating ice on. It was interesting trying to get our wheelchairs across the ice surfaces to get to the courts in the middle.
Yeah, you couldn't put spikes in the wheels, could you?
No, the ice guys didn't like us wheeling across there, that's for sure.
They don't have a sense of humor, that's all. Oh, the nerve of those guys.
Yeah.
No, this is used for an awful lot, different facilities and different things as well. So now they go back around one more time. They'll turn and twist. Working their way all the way up this time. Ikazaki has it, throws it straight down. Does he get across the line? Sure he does after he passes it all the way back down to Ime.
Good vision by Daisuke there to follow his picks up the court and get over half and then distribute the ball out to Curry for an easy goal.
It was a real quick transition play, working their way all the way up too.
Yeah.
So they'll set this back up. Waits a little bit of a give and go. Oh, lost it, misplayed that one. Somehow he maintained possession of it, which really surprised probably himself. Cadwell. Waits. Cadwell's trying to get it back. Now they go back over. I'm assuming that we're going to have a quick substitution coming in as Kevin Orr rolled by our location in front of us right now.
Yeah, good job by Canada to get the ball over half there. When you struggle on the exchange that close to your goal line, that makes it challenging to get the ball over half in 12 seconds. So they were able to adapt and
because they were rushed on that play right there.
Yeah, and that's the furthest distance you can go to cross center. So that's what defense is looking for. They're looking for that bobble down low.
Yeah, and of course Japan was really putting the pressure on them as well on that play right there. So they go back up the center one more time. This is Whitehead that still has control of it. Whitehead holds on to it, gives it a back pass right there. A one-hopper back to Morrow. Morrow cuts back to the inside.
It looks like one of the Japanese players left the court, so the refs have awarded a penalty goal. Penalty try, excuse me. I have to get used to the new...
Different terminology.
Yes. Be hard for us old guys.
That's why they put them in, just to confuse all the old guys like us.
Right. Yeah.
They're trying to get us confused.
Yeah.
Should be a rule against that one, too. Not allowed to do that.
No. Or we should be grandfathered into the old terminology.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Rule 101. Don't confuse the old guys.
That's right.
So they'll take their time on this one. Cody Cadwell will have this one. Cadwell lobs it inside. Nice play all the way back down the mid part of the floor to Whitehead. Whitehead comes down. Is he going to get bumped off the ball? Waits. Oh, a bit of a change right there, and he was pushed. Heavy check. We've seen that before. And, boy, he is a hard checker whenever he takes him off of that one.
Yeah, that was a good effort by Daisuke there to try and track down Mike and see if he could jar the ball loose to stop the goal. Mike felt him coming and was able to.
When Ikazaki goes after a guy, he is going to go after him, and there's no stopping him. He's like a bull in a china shop. He just goes and goes, and if there wasn't a chair there, he'd still be going.
Yeah, I think he loves this game and must enjoy that part of it.
Well, the funny part is I watch him, and whenever he hits somebody, he's smiling.
Yeah.
There's no frown, no such thing as a frown.
No, it's a lot of fun to be out there.
It is. Nice little bit of a play, a lob, little bit of alley-oop straight over top of the head of everybody, and they give that one. Shimakawa, he got control and got that one back. Gets one on the board right now. 2 points difference, 20-18 the score. Team Japan in the lead. Now they go back. Waits trying to set this one back up. A one-hopper all the way back to the mid part of the floor. Back to Morrow. Morrow comes in, throws it back to the middle part. Are they going to get across the line? Yes, he does indeed get across the line, and that was Shane Smith. Nice play. I didn't think Smith was going to cross inside there. I thought he might have been stopped before.
Yeah, he managed to stay on the right side of the cone, which is important in scoring a goal. I think this is Shane's first action of the tournament, so probably good for his confidence to not make a mistake on the first time you touch the ball.
No, he didn't. No mistake in there one. You could felt that heavy hit right at center floor as well right there. So their watch, waiting for this one. They're going to get the ball ready. Get her played again. Morrow will have it. Morrow, look, trying to get it to somebody. He does. He passed it. A quick alley-oop play right there to Whitehead, and Whitehead passed this one back around again back to Morrow as he was getting loose. Now Whitehead is still tagged. And Whitehead's actually locked between two chairs in the back behind us over in his half of the floor, trying to do everything he can to get himself loose. They're not letting him move at all, and the Team Japan players are just staying right with him. Now they'll let him loose. That's got to be one of the most frustrating feelings in the world when nobody lets you go.
That was actually textbook for Canada to get the ball over half there once two players tie up your number one, which was great to see. Unfortunately, I think that Travis and Shane and Eric could have worked better to execute on the goal line.
Well, they tried. I could just imagine if this was ice hockey, you'd see a fight ensue.
We've seen a few punches. I haven't seen an all-out brawl in my time.
Hopefully we don't either.
No, we don't see any out here.
No, a lot of good sportsmanship showing in this one. He just takes his time, dangles his way across the line, cuts the plane, and gets it. Yeah, they really play well. You talk about running what you might call a pick play to take somebody out of the game. Boy, oh boy, they're doing it really well.
Yeah, I mean it's an important part of the game. The guys with the ball look good because the players in front of them are doing their job.
They make them look good.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, the coach will tell you it's his job that he makes them look good.
Well, it's the coach makes everybody look good.
That's what they say. Get another one on the board right there. That puts them up to 20. So we have a 22-20 game. Team Japan up by 2 right now, so they'll have this one.
Shimakawa with the ball is one of the old veterans for Japan. He's been around since about 2002.
Fair to call him a seasoned veteran then?
Seasoned veteran. Brings a lot of speed and power to the game. He hits harder than most people in this sport.
Well, the key for that is, they can pass on the knowledge they have to the generations coming down the road that are going to be playing this sport as well. And there'll be a lot of players, as you mentioned earlier on, there'll be a lot of players from this that'll go on and get involved in coaching or, managing or whatever, just to keep the game alive.
Yeah, well, the benefits of sport, I think, are well documented. It's no different for wheelchair rugby. It can really help people lead a
huge hit right there. You could see that one.
Yeah, nice exchange between Travis and Shane in a danger area. Good job to get that ball out.
Is there a way that you cannot hit?
Only dangerously. So when guys are going full speed, if you hit them from behind, there can be quite an element of danger.
I can see that. I can see that.
So we call it a spinning foul in this sport, and depending on where they occur, it can cost you between 1 and 3 penalties. So.
Well, they'll take their time on this one, dangling around the far side. This is Morrow that has him. Morrow again gets pushed off of the ball right there. Ikazaki has it and stays with him. Now they're going to give it back out to the middle part of the floor to Morrow. Morrow lobs it inside around the left side this time. And again, we watch Shane Smith go across the line, get another one on the board. And I think we're going to have another substitution coming in for Team Japan.
Yeah, that's another goal in the corner on the key offense. Canada is doing a good job once again of finding the gaps that Japan is leaving. Yeah,
and that's twice that we saw Smith go across the line, the same area.
Yeah. Well.
So they're trying to get themselves loose and hop themselves all the way back out in the middle part of the floor, and that you can just show the ability and how they can get themselves loose because they're literally jumping in the chairs and making the chair jump.
Yeah, well, when those picking bars get in your wheels, the only way to get out is to try to hop sideways.
Well, Smith got across the line on that play right there, and he literally forced him, but you could see him back at center when he was tied up with the 2. He actually was jumping the chair.
Yeah, good job by him.
Well, you'd said this is his first shift, and the way he's playing pretty much man-for-man coverage so far.
Yeah, Canada's used a few players that have not seen much action, and I mean, we've given up a couple of goals.
Well, you've got to get them in the roster, eh?
Yeah, right. So you got to give them experience, and at the end of the day, this tournament is important, but it's not the most important. And if you don't let people play, they won't ever develop.
No, isn't that the truth? They have to develop, the skill, so they go farther down the road, and they get across the line again. Morrow, nice goal by that one. Minute and a half remaining, period number 2 right now. So they've got a set time that they have to get it out their own half of the floor too.
Yeah, so there's several counts that are going on. Once the whistle goes, you have 10 seconds to inbound the ball. Once the ball's touched, you have 12 seconds to get the ball over half, 40 seconds to score, which we've already mentioned, and you have to dribble the ball once every 10 seconds. Dribble, pass, or score. So the referees are busy counting to 10 over and over again in their head.
Referees have their work cut out for them in the sport as well. So they'll take their time. They're going to get across the line. He wants to get out 55 seconds, 52 in around there.
Yeah, Japan.
Now he gets it.
Japan's setting up for last goal here. They're going to try to force Canada to take longer than 13 seconds to score here. If they do score, and then Japan will try to score the last goal of the half.
Wide open, straight down the floor, all the way back down the far end this time, and Whitehead has it. Whitehead, long pass all the way back. Is it intercepted? Yes, it's intercepted and stolen right there. Now we're going back the other way. Straight up, Japan's coming back down. They're trying to get it wide open on the far side. Ikazaki is wide open, but they couldn't get it to him. They saw him. They're just dangling time off the clock. Take a look.
Yeah.
They'll run the shot clock out before it finishes right now. They're pretty much simultaneous, tagged up time-wise with each other. Just looking, visiting family and friends, waving to all the fans, wants to know who wants the next autograph. Back around. He'll take his time. Now will he go across? No, not yet. Maybe. Lost the ball. Whoa, a little bit of a late loss right there. Couldn't get it.
Yeah, a little bit of lack of focus there, I would say, by Shimakawa. Maybe he thought that play would be a little bit too easy.
I think he just took that for granted, just a little bit lax.
Yeah, it looked a little bit lax. And, fortunate for Canada because they turned the ball over right before that. So they'll avoid giving up back-to-back goals at the end of a quarter again, which will help to keep the score closer moving into the third quarter.
Yeah, and it just looked like he was just taking that little bit of lax going across, like it was almost like going to be a gimme, a free Christmas present or a Christmas gift or whatever.
Yeah. You got to stay sharper than that to have success.
You've got to stay sharp as attack to make sure you get it. Now they get control. The clock starts. Will they go down and get it? What are they going to do? Set it up? I don't know. Long pass right there, rolling it all the way up and over. And talking about up and over, back at center floor. And they'll pick him back up. Coaching staff for Team Canada questioning that call right there. Thought he might have got penalty might have ensued, but it didn't on that play right there. So they're going to call him back in.
I didn't see how Brandon ended up out of his chair there, but he certainly had a wide open pass to Trevor. They should have scored a last goal there. It's too bad the pass wasn't a little bit more accurate.
Well, he got the pass, but he was a little bit late on the passing play, so he couldn't get it. When he was making the pass, he was actually sort of unbalanced and almost was rolling over, so he couldn't get the pass back to the receiver that was intended for.
Yep. So good effort, though, and
extremely good effort. So right now I want to pay some bills, and we want to thank our sponsors, hosted by the BC Wheelchair Sports Society, as well as it's sanctioned by the IWRF. And our sponsors and supporters very preciously appreciate all their support. Without your support, we could not put this event on. Canada, naturally Canada, and we want to support all our athletes and the people that support all our athletes in Canada. Province of British Columbia, Vesco, Richmond Olympic Oval, Vancouver Hilton Airport, Sheraton Vancouver Airport, the Marriott Vancouver Airport, Hollister, IBEW, and Richmond Sport Hosting. I want to thank for many of the several supporters, Big Kahuna. Got friends that work out in Big Kahuna, the main office in Big Kahuna Sports out in Langley, British Columbia right now. Of course, the Big Rock Brewing. Oh, yeah, that's your favorite fan, isn't it? One Big Rock? That could be mine if I ever got out there. Boston Pizza, Canada Paramedic Committee. And, you talk about the athletes. I get the luxury of going around doing all the sports for Delta Television and covering all the sports for my sportswave.ca website, I should make mention. But I have a luxury of going around covering tons and tons of sports with different athletes. And it's such a real nice feeling because I like to focus on the amateur athletes. The pros are pros. They're great. They were one day they were an amateur, and now they're working up to the pro level. And it's nice because the young kids or the young people today or the amateur athletes that are working up to this level to go to the Olympics, they're as honest as the day is long. And you ask them a question, they'll tell you whatever you want to know. It's just so much fun to be involved in. And it's great. Like, I enjoy going out myself, and Bruce go out, and we cover them all the time. And it's nice to be, be able to do that luxury, because my feeling is that I don't think personally, and I could be wrong in this, but I don't think, and it's not to be slagging any mainstream media, but I don't think our mainstream media does enough to go out. All they want to do is promote the pros. They want to cover the Canucks. They want to cover the Lions. They want to cover the Whitecaps. They're great. I enjoy dealing with them myself on a personal basis. But you've got to be an amateur before you're a pro. I mean, it's not like when you're born, the doctor smacks you on the backside and says you're a pro tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way.
No, and you make a great point. It's a for-profit-based business, and I suppose they make decisions to make the money. But without amateur sport, there wouldn't be professional sport. And it would be nice if Canadians supported amateur sport more. You see a lot of support for amateurs down in other countries. And here it seems that, there are a few, but not enough people out there supporting.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's almost like they seem to think sometimes that maybe it's a little bit of insignificance that they don't want to go out because they're going out of their way to support them. And I always ask a lot of people, and I have yet to have anybody give me an honest answer. You get a lot of volunteers at these events. They put this one on. They give up their time, their hours, their dedication, take time away from the family. And I always say that volunteers are what I call the unsung heroes in the world of sport. And I always ask anybody, and everybody that listens to me anyway, except my wife, when was the last time you ever saw anybody go over to a volunteer and say, thanks for being a volunteer? We appreciate your time. Pretty far and few between.
Well, I know I'm doing it, but I might be one of the few, and we certainly do get a lot of volunteers out at Canada Cup, and our rugby teams have had tremendous volunteers throughout the years that support us, because these wheelchairs take a lot to upkeep. They're heavy. These guys are disabled, and without volunteers to come out and support us, it would be a lot more challenging for us.
No, and that's very, very true. You talk about the level we're at right now, and with you coming out of Nanaimo when you were living over there, have you had any indication of what the sport is like over in the Nanaimo area or on Vancouver Island?
Wheelchair rugby specifically?
Yeah.
We have a program that runs out of Victoria on the island that has been going strong now for maybe about 15 years. We've tried to start a program in Nanaimo a couple of times. Unfortunately, it does take a core group of athletes who are willing to show up, and sometimes these things start out with great momentum and then are not able to maintain it on a weekly basis. So.
No, and that's very true, and it'd be nice, if more people would get involved. And of course, you could see them just when they were getting ready to start the third quarter right there, or the second half. Everybody was sort of dangling away, trying to find their own little free space and free area on the floor so they could get the set play working out.
Yeah, a lot of transition going on out there. Canada trying to take advantage of the fact that Japan's highest point player is in the box, and looks like they were able to create at least a timeout, which is a small win for Team Canada.
Well, I was looking at the way they were all starting the whole play and setting it all up. Boy, oh boy, there was more traffic out there in the middle part of the floor than there was in the Portman Bridge on the Friday night. That was pretty hectic. I was impressed with it, but you're looking at it when people haven't seen it before. They're going, what are they doing? It's called the wheelchair dance, that's all.
It is called the wheelchair dance. No, obviously there are different types of functional abilities on the court, and you're always trying to get the ball into the person with the least amount of function, because they are sometimes the people that you can take the most advantage of.
So you've got, I think, a timeout called right now by Team Japan, but I ask, and this sincerely, does the BC Wheelchair Rugby, do they ever go to the different schools and talk to the schools or talk to the athletes? Because in Delta, where I live, only because my wife lets me live there, is we've got our BC Sports Minister, Ravi Kalan, good friend of mine.
Right.
Ravi's there, and I know a lot of people with the school board in Delta because they're friends of mine. I would welcome the opportunity to talk to them and have this come out and take a demonstration.
I mean, we are present in the schools. I mean, I think BC Wheelchair Sports over the years has done a good job with working with the schools. Back years ago, we used to have something called the demo team, where a group of people were dedicated to go around to different schools. That has died down a little bit. But in 2010, when we hosted World Championships, we actually worked with the Richmond School Board, created a curriculum for kids to learn about wheelchair rugby, went around to the schools and played sports with them, and then had them all come out and cheer on the teams during our Worlds. And even this morning, we had
a school here this morning.
One of the head of our board, Laurel Crosby, works at one of these schools here in Richmond, so she has obviously been a big person in helping us stay connected with the local schools here.
Well, I think that's. I think we need more of that, more indication, for our different school districts to allow the athletes to go to the different schools, even go in and do a public talk, just to let them know what it's all about.
Well, we used to talk about safety to the kids, which was our primary focus with the demo team. But, there's nothing quite like the look on the kids' faces when we bring the wheelchairs into the gym and they get to try it. There's, the ones that don't get to because you can't obviously have everybody play, they're often very disappointed that they're not chosen to get in the chair.
Yeah, no, isn't that the truth? Oh, there was a big heavy collision right there in the mid part of the floor right there as they go all the way back up again, straight down. Trotman was the one that wheels his way back inside there. No, I can see that, some of the players, some of the school students want to get involved, and then when they don't get involved, they're a little bit dejected. But I like it. I mean, I think they're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. So we haven't seen this line for Japan yet. This has got 3-2-5-2.5 with you and Masa out there. So Japan's using its bench a little bit more in this game than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, a little bit out of the reach right there, and I think that's the first time we've actually seen him because I didn't see him play earlier on in the game that he was playing against the U.S. for Nakazawa.
No, I haven't seen him on the court either. So,
but he's there now.
Yeah, he's there now. We'll see how they do. I think this is Pat Simard's first action of the tournament as well. So
another heavy check right there, going all the way back down across the line. Wheeling the way in, and they get that one as Cadwell goes back down across the line. Safety, actually, I would naturally say that safety has to be first and foremost in the sport.
Sometimes to the extreme.
You paused when you said that. I saw.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally agree with safety, but sometimes if a person falls down over here and the play's over there, they're not really in that much danger. I think they could let the play continue a little bit. That would be my.
And of course, the officials, without being mean, I would assume that the referees have the judgment to make the call as to whether they stop the play or allow the play to continue.
Well, absolutely.
That's a judgment call. Safety first and foremost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, while they're waiting for the wheelchair to pick up right now, we're going to have a substitution coming in. Has there ever been anybody throwing the idea about that maybe these athletes, because of all the concerns they have, that they have to wear helmets?
Well, the problem with a lot of these athletes is they actually, because they're quadriplegics, they don't sweat. So putting something on their head will make them hotter, and they're not particularly keen on that. We don't see a lot of concussions in wheelchair rugby. At least I haven't. Maybe one in my 25 years. We learn early on to lift our head up when we're falling out backwards.
Probably more so than the able-bodied person. Would that be fair to say that?
I mean, I don't have any statistics on it, but like I said,
you can say yes.
Yeah.
I believe you.
I have only seen one in 25 years, to my knowledge. Well, two. No, I'll take that back. 2 in 25 years. So.
That's a positive note right there. You know that there are not many, and that's good because. And
that was earlier on when we knew about concussions, but we didn't quite have the.
It was just like you'd get knocked down, you'd go to the bench coach, would say, shrug it off and go back out.
You shook them off in those days, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. That was the key right there. You did.
At least that's what we thought.
Yeah, and of course, the older you get, the smarter you get. I guess that's the key right there. Then you learn. You're going, shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
So they're taking their time, waiting for this one. Japan, very, very patient.
Well, Japan's just doing a little clock management here while Canada's highest point players in the penalty box.
And now they're going to in the block when he finally comes out of the block. They're going to, in the penalty box, they're going to go in and see if they can get the block. But he snuck his way past. Now he goes all the way back down his own end of the floor, and he'll be the first one to get the ball. Yeah,
that's what Japan wants. They want the 3-5 to inbound because that gives them 8 points on defense versus 3 and 4.5 points on offense. A little bit tighter defense by Ike there, and it would have paid off, but Cody was able to get open.
Long play all the way back down. Waits. Canada holds on this one. They're trying to get it. Hirschfeld had it. Hirschfeld still holds on to this one. Thought about giving it away right there. Nobody else could get it. He's guarding that one. Waits. Looks nice little bit of a lob play right there to pass it all the way back over to Cadwell, and Cadwell turns. He holds on to this one. Hirschfeld runs the pick, takes his man off of the ball right there. Not going to give Izeki anything to get out control of it. Now they go across the line again. That was Trotman that goes in. Waiting for it. Referee's indicating that he wants to get them. Waiting for it. Players just steering their way down. I can see how the officials have to be really alert to make sure they don't get run over by the chairs.
Yes, I suppose they do have to stay on their toes. They must get clipped from time to time.
I don't doubt it. So they're smiling. I don't know what she said to them, but whatever she said to them, they're smiling at it.
She called it jump ball, I think. So
I thought that's what it was.
I was so enthralled with our conversation that I didn't quite see what led to that.
Well, you're forgiven. You're forgiven. You're from the Nanaimo. You're forgiven.
Obviously, Canada's got the ball here, so an opportunity to make the score within 2.
Well, that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trailing by 3. They want to get it just down to 2, which works in their advantage right now. Lavoie looks, waits, tops. Nice little bit of a move right there as he does the 360 spinorama. Now goes all the way back over the far left side. Gets around everybody and goes across. Does he get in? Ooh, now he does. Sweet. Oh, that was slick as butter right there. That was nice.
Good job by Fabs to take advantage of Kishi in the corner there.
He ran the pick really well.
Yeah, on a defense, you hate to see your corner guy get burned like that because you got no help out there. You know, it's their number one job. Don't let anybody score between you and that cone.
Well, that's what they're trying not to do, but they go back down. Looks, takes the one hopper, streams his way, and rolls himself across the line.
Another quick goal by Japan is.
And you can hear the coach, Kevin Orr, telling everybody just play a lot smarter. They want them to play smarter. And Kevin Cote, or Patrick Cote on the other side, he's just pretty much quiet. Hasn't said a lot so far.
Well, I mean, I think that he's probably reasonably happy with the team is playing. I mean, they're not leading right now, but the game is still within reach. And he's gotten a lot of his young guys on the court, so I don't think he can be very unhappy about that.
No, not at all. Speaking of young guys going straight down the court, they get control of this one. Letourneau goes inside, gets that one. Nice play. That brought the coach up. Patrick Cote stood up on that one.
Yeah, nice job by Anthony to catch the ball on the goal line there. Dangerous hit by EK, right? You know, that could cost you 3 penalties if that's a little bit harder or Tony comes out of his chair.
And that's the last thing you want to have happen. So they go back down, waiting for this one. They're trying to come inside. This sliding across, going inside. You can hear the coaching staff, Kevin Orr, talking to the players all the time, barking out different messages, instruction to them.
Yeah, Kevin is a non-stop communicator in game, which, you know, I think communication is key to success at higher levels. So.
Oh, that's true. One hopper, back around over the right side. Letourneau gets back. He throws this one back around again to Lavoie. Lavoie comes down, looks, goes to the left side. Still holding on to it. Trying to set it up, goodbye everybody. Couldn't get past anybody on that one right there, so he holds on to it, takes a one hopper, now just throws it back the middle part of the floor, back to Morrow. Morrow throws it inside. Couldn't back across. He's trying to steer it across. This time they managed to get it inside, and that was Anthony Letourneau that gets that one back inside.
It's good play by EK to strip the ball off of Anthony's lap as he's going across the goal line there. Anthony needs to learn to protect that ball a little bit better in those moments.
The thing I'm noticing about Team Canada is there's no quit to their game plan. They're just keeping driving forward.
Yeah, no, they're hungry, and you know, I know that these young guys are eager to demonstrate that they belong at this level, and so far so good.
Well, yeah, because the older guys that are playing this level right now, they're going to eventually one day just step out of it and step aside and let the younger players come up and take over from them.
Yeah, well, we call some of these athletes our podium potential athletes. So, you know, a lot of them will probably be with Canada in Tokyo 2020, but it's really 2024 and beyond where they'll start to shine the greatest.
And with the development that Canada is really working at with the Own the Podium, they're really trying to put a lot more athletes up on the Olympic level. Yeah,
well, and that's what my job is. Own the Podium's contracting me out to help those athletes get there. So.
Oh, I applaud it. I think it's great. I think that's something that's really, you know, something that's needed from our point of view. I've got a good friend that she was playing wheelchair tennis. I think I told you earlier on, Sarah Hunter. Yeah. Good friend, Sarah. She's a real sweetheart. And, you know, once she got past her devastation of her injury as to why me type of syndrome, she just went on and focused, and she's just a great individual.
No, Sarah I know quite well, and she had a tremendous tennis career.
Oh, exceptional.
Has a beautiful family and is doing very well for herself, I think.
No, Sarah, before her injury, she actually refereed hockey with my daughter, I was telling you earlier on, and hell of a referee, I can tell you that.
Is she? Yeah.
Like, really a good hockey referee.
Oh, good.
Respected Sarah. There was Sarah, and there was Angie Sosnowski and my daughter, and I could put the three of them out there to referee a boys' midget game. They controlled the game better than the guys did. Like, really. And they were good. And they were good skaters, too, because, let's face it, they took figure skating, so they knew what was going on. So we're winning right now.
Looked like Canada had a turnover there on the goal line. So
it did. They had the turnover on the goal line right there, so now they have control. But Japan's in control of the ball. Now they're going to go back down across the line. That made that one look so easy, getting across the line. They just roll their way inside. Another substitution coming in. Simakawa is getting set to come inside. Waits. Heavy check, heavy collision over on the far side once again. Now they'll wait. Now they're going to roll their way all the way up the center floor. Waits picks up some valuable speed. Waits looks heavy check at a big collision. Lavoie was taken off of that one. But across the line, they go inside, get another one. So that sees Canada putting up to 31 right now. They're only trailing by 4, but they're playing remarkable and really fast. And you talk about the tempo picking up. They're just showing what they're made of right now, and they're playing just so exceptional.
Yeah, that was a great job by Canada to score that goal. I think that Japan really got the defense they were looking for.
So do we have a penalty?
Yeah, Fabs looks like he took a reaching penalty there, so he'll be in the sin bin for a minute or a goal.
Can't you just tell him you're sorry? Just reach out and say, I'm sorry, Mr. Ref, and they won't give you a penalty?
You always say you're sorry to the referee. It never works. It never works.
I know. I just told players, we agree to disagree. Right? I just told them there's no truth to the rumor that the more I call, the more I get paid. that's a false statement right there.
Referees are paid by the call.
I could be rich. If that was the case, I would be in Hawaii or Mexico or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Either that or my wife would have all the money. I don't know, one or the other.
Almost a turnover created there by Canada while they were shorthanded. Unfortunate.
He'll lob this one back in. Waits, giving this one back over. Nice play to get it back inside. Shimakawa has it. Shimakawa looks, turns, goes around the outside, right on the far side that time. Almost taken out of the play right there, but he gets control. A little bit of a one-hopper. Bumped again right there. Easily played by Trotman. Now Shimakawa throws it back over on the far side. Ike takes his time, patiently and methodically rolls across the line to get another point on the board right there, putting him up by 5.
I know that was across the court from us, but that looked like an awfully close to a spin by Troutman there, which is something you don't want to do while you got somebody in the box.
So they're waiting. That's you can explain that in the next, whenever we get a real quick chance. Another couple minutes you can explain that so everybody knows what you're talking about. Now they go back all the way up, midcourt this time. Trotman waits, looks, goes over. Bit of a collision again. They'll wait. Gonna pick him up.
So I'm not quite sure why he blew the whistle there. I mean, a player's down, but the ball was going across the goal line. It was certainly, that's a situation. Did he call?
So I think the referee said they're going to reset.
Yeah, they're going to reset the clock, but there's a situation where he blows the play dead because the guy's come out of his chair, but the ball's, 35 feet away at Canada's scoring.
Is that just maybe a safety thing more than anything else?
Oh, it looks like, they're re-inbounding down at this end here, so maybe they didn't start the shot clock, or there was
that could be
timekeeping error.
That could be.
That makes more sense.
You notice one thing how the players, they'll have 3 players on one, and they just literally, virtually lock them right in. They're not going to get them loose at all.
Yeah, so it's a 3-1. They want to keep the ball out of Fab's hands as much as possible and force the rookie to beat them. So that's their tactic, and it pays off.
Pretty much, it worked out really well. And of course, if you're going to take anybody out of the play, take out the the talented players. And of course, they're all talented to this level.
That's over. Oh.
Waits, nice steal right there on the play. Canada's picking up some speed. They're going back down, trying to get control. They're working their way inside again, coming in. Trotman looks. Trotman hold on to it. And then he lost it. It rolled out of his hands.
Canada fortunate that the ball bounced to them there. I think the referees missed an over and back. Play should have been blown dead before that happened.
So penalty coming up. This one going to Japan. One that's going to the penalty box on the far side is Ike. So Canada's going to be pressing right now. Once they get the ball inbound, they get control of it. Fabian Lavoie has it. He's not tagged up and double teamed this time, and he's just going to roll back down, waiting for it. Thinking about going across the line, but they're going to run the pick on the far side when he comes across. And he's going to come out. Coach's timeout right now. Good call, Kevin. Good call. Kevin calls a timeout. Kevin says the boys are rested and tired. I want to call.
Well, he's using his timeout, so his highest point player doesn't have to inbound, which is one way you can use your timeouts when Canada does the inbounder trap like they were doing over there.
Yeah, a lot of players, I've noticed that the one thing is they really work that trap really well when the Blythes are in the penalty box.
Yeah, well, it's
part of the game?
It's part of the game, and sometimes you'll see 2 people over there, sometimes you'll see 1. Just depends really on the matchup. And like I said earlier on, if you can get a 3-pointer inbounding, leaving only 5 points on the court, that's a points advantage for defense. They already have a man advantage, and it's just playing the odds, I suppose, is the best way to describe it, right? So.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a smart play.
Yeah.
Smart play. Coaches know how to work it in their advantage. That's why they're coaching. So they're going to wait for this one. Nomoratsu had it. Looks, he threw this one back inside. Waits up the mid part of the floor. Oh, nice little bit of a slip tap. Took the slide through that one right there. And they get it. Shikamawa goes back down. Waits. What are they going to do? Holding on to it. Looks, waits, takes the one hopper, bounces it back around, sets this one back up. Not sure. Ike gets himself free. Now Ike goes back after it. Strolls down towards the line. Then goes over the line right there to put themselves up by 5. 37-32 right now. 1:41 remaining in the third period.
Yeah, it's going to be Japan's ball to start the fourth quarter, so Canada needs to try to score last goal here and see if they can get a jump ball as well so they can start the next quarter.
Well, they'll give it a try, and they quickly pick up some speed going across the line. Puts them up within 4 right now. Canada's game is slowly picking up, and the longer the game goes on, the faster they're getting.
Yeah, well, they've got this speed lineup out here again with Brandon and Fabs. Fabs is one of the quicker spinal cord injury athletes in the game, so uses it to his advantage.
They're trying to shut him down right now in the middle part of the floor, and that's Ike that has the ball. Ike goes after it. Waits never got control of this one. Turning back in the mid part of the floor is Kishi. Kishi just running the pick and the block right there, trying to take everybody off of the ball, just keep them out of the way. So they go back down. There's about a minute remaining in the third quarter right now as they work their way back inside.
Looks like Canada's put 4 players in the key, which is going to cost them a penalty.
Cost them a penalty again.
And I'm sure that Japan will... They may score quickly here, or they may try and take as much time off the clock as they can. We'll see which.
And that four in the key, that happens so fast for the players. Sometimes you don't even know you're there.
Yeah, it requires great communication to make sure that you avoid that as much as possible.
Not always possible. We've seen a lot of penalties for that today in all the games so far.
Well, you do. You get focused on what you're doing on defense and lose where you are in space on the court, and next thing you know, you're over there where Fabs is.
You're over there, yes. The referees, they made the call easy for the refs when that happens. You know, sometimes as a ref, you're just going, I don't want to make the call, but I have to, right?
Well, I mean, 4 in the key is one of the ones that it's pretty easy for the refs to pick out. There's not really a lot of judgment involved in it, right?
No,
I mean,
that's
either
easy.
There's 4 in or they're not 4 in.
That's like a double dribble for basketball.
Yeah, and I'm all for referees making calls. You know, I don't believe the referees. You know, I think the referees determine the outcome of the game just as much if they don't make the calls than if they do.
Yeah,
make the calls.
no, that's true. Sometimes you have to make the calls, or you don't have a choice. Waiting for this one. Canada waits, looks Team Japan trying to supply a lot of pressure right now to guard them off and getting one on the board, so they'll just wheel their way back inside. They're going to get control. Across the line, not yet. Now he gets across the line and put it in with 27 seconds left in the third period. So they're going to get control. Waits Team Japan trying to get themselves loose and free. Oh, big reach right there. Uses the size and the ability of the chair to reach up and grab that. That's why he sits high in the chair.
Yeah, you know, that has been the bread and butter for Japan for the last few years now. And 22, Seiya is pretty accurate with his inbounds, which makes it a lot easier for them to run that play. Oh.
Well, it was just a high reach, and he's, I would assume, because of the way he sits in the chair, it's such a high reach that he's got it.
Yeah, well, but you'll notice that he really catches the ball with one hand. He doesn't.
So we're going to have a discussion right now.
So what happened there was Shimakawa passed the ball, trying to pass it to Ike. Fabs intercepted it and then wheeled through the goal with the ball. It really should be Japan's ball in the corner.
I don't know, and maybe who's going to get it? Yes, you're right. It is going to be Japan's ball inside the corner.
Which.
Back all the way over, waits. Nice play to get it back inbound across the line. They get one on the board right there. 3.4 seconds remaining. 39-34.
Yeah, Japan's going to get the last goal of the quarter here, and they've got the ball to start the fourth quarter, which means if they execute, they'll be up by 6, which is going to be a challenge for Canada to crawl their way back.
Yeah, it's a big uphill to climb for what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's not, and that's why I was mentioning in the old days before the shot clock, the game would be over. There's no way a team would come back 5 or 6 goals because you would just stall the whole quarter away.
True.
And that's at least the shot clock. It gives teams an opportunity to crawl back because it forces the other team to continue to score. No,
isn't that the truth? You talk about highlights for Team Canada. They were at the Paralympics in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, placed 4th. And Team Japan in the Paralympics in Rio de Janeiro and also 2016, they actually placed 3rd.
Yeah, so that was Japan's first Paralympic medal. And if you watch the game, you can see that they were very excited as a program to secure that. And, you know, obviously their goal will be to get a gold going into 2020. So.
Well, it's interesting. I'm looking at 2016, and they were in Rio. And then it's listed in the highlights, the team highlights that we've been passed out here, that in 2016 they placed 3rd in the Canada Cup in Richmond. So was a Richmond event here before Rio? Yeah, so Canada Cup is held every 2 years prior to a World Championships or Paralympic Games. Okay. And it's not always in order, but generally teams that win Canada Cup do very well at the major games. So this, you know, how teams finish here will be very similar to how they finish based on previous history. Well, there's a lot of travel involved. When you look at where the players have been, I mean, the teams, Team Canada, they've played in Christchurch, New Zealand, going back to 2006. They've been in Beijing, Montreal, London, naturally at home, and Richmond, Toronto, Rio de Janeiro. And you look at Japan, you talk about travel, distance traveled right there. They played in Richmond, they played in Montreal and Rio as well. So there's a lot of miles put on the chairs.
When I was coaching Japan in 2013, I completely went around the globe 3 times in one calendar year. Vancouver, Tokyo, Tokyo, South Africa, London, Vancouver.
Wow.
So it's a lot of time sitting on a plane seat.
Yeah, it is, and there's not a lot of free time, so you can go and do sightseeing and tourism as well.
No, a couple of days here and there, but you try and do a little bit of sightseeing if you can. But most of these trips are hotel rooms and gyms.
And restaurants. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I know that feeling very well. Back down inside. They're trying to get control of this one.
And buses.
Yeah, and a lot of buses too. So Delby goes in and gets that one. And it doesn't matter where you travel. The best thing that I like about getting back home is your own bed.
Yeah. There's nothing like coming home, sleeping in your own bed.
No, it's nice to go away, but nice to get back to your own bed. Heavy hit back at center court right there. They wait, holding on to it. Another heavy collision right there is just still taking their time. Norimatsu, he was pushed off of the ball. Now they'll come back down over on the inside. Norimatsu's on the outside left this time. Shikakawa is on the outside left, rolls across the line, gets another one on the board. So there's 6 points, 41-35 in favor of Team Japan right now.
Yeah, I think Japan's going to continue its trend of trying to score quick goals and then put lots of pressure on Canada on defense here, see if they can extend their lead.
I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from young number 7, Ikizaka.
Yeah,
man, he is such an aggressive player.
Yeah, it's difficult to execute on offense with him pressuring you like that, and obviously he was instrumental there in creating that turnover. Caldwell wasn't able to hang on to the ball.
Big, aggressive athlete. And whenever he hits you, he's smiling, so he knows he's doing something right.
Exactly.
So he gets it and rolls easily across the line right there.
Yeah, he's a student of the game, Daisuke. He's always wanting to learn, and he's always working on his game. He plays not only in Japan, but he plays in a club team in the United States, and he's played in the Australian League. He's all over the place trying to get better.
Lots of miles put on those wheels, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he's a family man as well, so it's great that his family lets him work on what he loves. So.
Yeah, because you can't always take your family with you on all the trips. You'd like to, but you can't do it.
No, you can't, because it's not family time.
No, this is a job. This is what they're doing. And you're representing your country, which is, I applaud all the athletes that take the time out of their life to represent the country.
Yeah.
I just wish some of the countries like Canada would do more.
Well, Canada, we're treated very well here in Canada. They can't really.
No, we can't complain. This is, especially in the West Coast, this is what we call, we're fortunate, we call this God's country on the West Coast.
Yeah, there's no better, I've traveled the world, and there's a few beautiful places that I've been to, but there's nowhere like coming back here. It's one of the nicest places to live in the world.
No, isn't that true? So you're going to wait for this one. Okay, she's happy. Referees are happy. Almost happy.
Well, they're inbounding like there was another goal scored, so. Clock error?
I think it must be. They're still playing with the clock right now.
61.4.
So it's got to be a clock error for time. They're trying to set the time up right now. Yeah, maybe it's 6.414.
Yeah, 6 minutes and 14 seconds, I would imagine.
So they're trying to get this all set up. There, 6:14. That's what it was. So we're going to get this one set up. You talk about the clock. I applaud all the timekeepers that go out and timekeep the games, because if you never time cap, do it, and you'll only do it once.
Yeah, it's you make a mistake on the score sheet and nobody knows. You make a mistake on the clock and everybody sees.
Everybody notices.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed they do. So they come all the way back out. Morrow has it. Morrow just dishes this one back to the inside, all the way down the far left side. This time it's Hirschfield, and they get it back to him. Now Hirschfield gets collided with, double teamed up right there, and Hirschfield holds onto it. Now passes it back off, waits, centers it back around. Good play to get it back over to Morrow. Morrow takes his time. Cuts around the right side corner. Couldn't get control. Does the spinner have a move? Back to the middle right now. Waiting for this one.
admire athletes who are able to maintain focus and catch the ball, make a play, even though they're not going to know they're going to take a big hit like Trevor was about to there.
Now you talk about timekeeping real quick. I've actually called a penalty, and instead of them putting, if you might, for example, in that case, have 6:14 remaining in the period, instead of having a penalty called and put 2 minutes on the penalty time, they've put a penalty time up and nullified the 6:14 and put 2 minutes left. So as a referee, you've really got to be alert and watch the clock too.
Yeah, that's a big error by the timekeeper.
That's a nightmare, sure. But they get so rapid as to what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, with the professional sports I watch, I'm amazed at how rare you see those kind of mistakes happen. Those guys do a great job.
Well, they're pros, and they've got a lot of people helping them out too. Back inside again as they hold on to it. Ikazaki has the ball, waiting for it. Now he just takes his time, slips through the middle, comes all the way up, half floor this time. Ikazaki up with 5:20 left. They stroll across the line. Well played. Giving the ball back to the referee again, and as he holds on this one. Chikamawa has it. Looks.
Canada's in trouble to get the ball in. Good deny by Japan.
Yeah, they blocked them. They wouldn't allow them to get it out. Now they throw the inbound ball, but it went past everybody.
Yeah, that was probably should have used a timeout there rather than trying to force the ball in. Canada still got 2, so.
Yeah, instead of throwing it in, a good call for the timeout, like you say.
Yep, and.
We have a substitution coming in right now for players of both teams. Japan are sending 3 in. I believe Team Canada are also sending 3 in as well. So the coaching staff having a bit of a discussion with the timekeeper just to our broadcast right over here, taking cards.
Yeah, you've got to, when you sub in, each player's got a card that is officially their classification rank. So try to make sure the right number of points are on the court.
So that has to be monitored by the timekeeper as well?
Yeah, the timekeepers monitor it, but really the coaches will notice if there's wrong points on the court because we know each other's lineups so well.
Yeah, I would imagine.
You know when there's a dodgy one out there.
Somebody trying to play a little bit of sneaky Pete move on you.
That's right.
Back down all the way up. Nice play. Trotman comes back down, pushed off the ball. Trotman has it, looks, gives a one-hopper back to Cadwell. Cadwell takes his time. Thought about going inside. Trotman goes inside, runs a bit of a pick play right there. Ikazaki had it, looks, takes his time. Now holds on to it.
Yeah, nice job by Brandon there.
Yeah, very much.
Showing flashes of brilliance of what could be down the road.
Yeah, future Olympic captain, you never know. Never down the road, bit by bit.
Never know. Young man just turned 19 from Edmonton,
Oh,
Alberta.
young. So I know why he's in BC. He doesn't want the snow. So they go back down, wheeling across the line. Nice play, wheel and deal across the line. Yeah, it's nice when you get the young athletes and compete and work with the older athletes so they can all work and develop each other.
Yeah, well, that's one of the nice things about the Canada bench right now is they do have half a dozen athletes over there that are all in their early 20s. So, it's setting the stage for games to come.
Yeah, future Olympic athletes down the road. You never know where it's going to take them. Yeah. So what, do we have a timeout called or do we have a technical?
No, it looks like Canada got into trouble and used the timeout. So Japan doesn't want them to go back to their bench.
No, they don't. And everybody else is calling them use it, so they have to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit of gamesmanship going on there.
Well, that is. It's all about mind games right now. So what's the next event after this one for Team Canada?
Well, Canada will stay here in Richmond for a few days after this tournament and have a training camp. And then they'll probably have one more training camp somewhere back east towards the end of July. And then they're off to Australia sometime in early August, late July for World Championships.
Which part of Australia?
Sydney, Australia.
Right down in Sydney.
Yeah, it's in the old, on the old Olympic grounds. I think there's Pink is having a concert down there during the same time, so there's a lot of demand for hotel rooms going on.
Surprise.
But yeah, it's a beautiful facility down there. I quite like Sydney. We've been fortunate to be there a few times, and I know that the hosts will do a great job of hosting the World Championships.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Nice to have that take place the way it is. Of course, Sydney, they'll probably go to the Opera House if they get a chance as well.
I'm sure there will be a day of jet lag recovering where they will wander down to the harbor or maybe have dinner down in Darling Harbor and look at the Opera House.
Oh, good for them. The key for that is you never know when you're going to get back, so why not?
Exactly.
Waiting for it, throwing it back inside, pushed off of the ball right there. He looked like there was a real inquisitive play, like Ike thought there might have been a penalty call on that play right there.
Well, there was a fumble, and then Japan had the 12-second violation, so it's going to be a turnover for Canada, and they'll be able to get 1 goal closer here if they're able to execute.
Yeah, I think Ike was looking possibly a possible late hit maybe after he looked at the referee a couple times.
Maybe a hit from behind, you never know, but
yeah, it could be. You never know.
the referee wasn't...
Is that better? Now we can hear him.
Good.
Now you are. You're good.
Apparently the microphone was too far away from my lips.
Ghosts and goblins grabbed it and slipped it down. That's all. It was when you were trying to have your sip of tea.
Sip of tea.
That's what it was. So they wait. Canada rolls across the line. Well, they get one more. That puts them up to 40. So they're trailing by 6 right now. 46-40. 3:48 remaining in the final period. They're slow to come all the way about. Waits, nice play to break up the middle part of the floor right there, and they're picking up a valuable amount of speed right now. Now they're going to go back down the floor. Waits, Ike's wide open on the far left side, goes across the line all by himself. It's almost like they use Ike as a decoy in that play right there.
Oh, coast to coast, when he gets going full speed, there's no stopping him.
Well, I always told my wife that's why when she was skating, that's why they invented boards to stop her.
Yes. Canada's
Heavy hit
in
again.
trouble here.
Canada looks like they're in trouble right now. Trying the pass. It was blocked right there, and it rolls back. So it was blocked by the Team Japan. So as it was blocked by Team Japan, they'll give the ball back to Canada over on the far side.
Yeah.
I think they're going to give this one to Simrad.
Simard, will inbound in the corner. See if Canada can do a better job of getting the ball over half.
Is this his first shift of the game? I don't think we've seen him before.
No, yeah, this is Pat did have a shift earlier on, or a couple of shifts so far in this game, but this is his first action of the tournament.
Okay.
That I've seen.
He's going to go back. He's going to make it count too. That's what happened. You give him a shift, put him on the floor. They're going to make him pay. Yeah,
Pat's another veteran of the team. I think he was with the team in Australia in 2000. I know he was on the team in 2002 in Sweden.
It's one thing about the players. They get to see a lot of parts of the world.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time.
But they give a lot of time away from their family, and I applaud them for giving the time, their undivided time away from their families to put Canada on the map, or the countries in general, all the countries here on the map.
Yeah, it takes a lot of sacrifice.
Heavy collision over there, right on the far side. Trotman was the one who was pushed off the wall, throws it back. It was almost stolen right there. Do they get control? Sure they do. They manage. Smart has control, waits, looks, throws it back to the inside. Good reach to get it back. Now they get control of secondary time. Give it back to Trotman. He wheels his way in. Push, stop. Somebody put the brakes on that wagon right there, and he gets across the line and puts him back up. Nice play.
Yeah,
at least he gets one more.
Good job for Canada to score there. This defense is putting a lot of pressure on Canada. They're struggling to get the ball in and over half. So it's nice to see them punch one in.
The long pass all the way, an alley-oop play all the way back down the floor, and they'll just easily stroll across the line. Puts them back up right now with 49 with 2:36 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good job by Curry to create space. Recognized he wasn't defended by anybody, and easy catch and score.
Yeah, easy, wide open right there. Heavy collision back in their own half. Now they go back again. Waits trying to pick up some speed. Wide open on the other end is Simard. He's wide open. Couldn't get the ball to him. A one-hopper. Now they're going to chase this one back down. Will he get across the line on this one? Desjardins comes back, gets across it. Nice play, but a nice long setup play. That was a smart move by Trotman to set that one up.
Yeah, that was a great job by Brandon to get the ball, to advance the ball to Pat. Pat certainly made a great catch and scored a good goal there.
Yeah, the key for that was a setup. Now they give a long bomb the other way going back. Ime comes down, he gets it up. So they've reached 50 right now. Half the 100 they're working on. They just give it back around again. Trotman still has control. Twists, turns, cuts back to the inside. Looks, Trotman was guarded off of the ball by Ike right there, but somehow he gets it back forward. Up to Simard. Simard holds on to it, waits, they reset it and hold on to it. They're counting. Looking at the referee to count the time going up over center floor. Now they just throw it back to the middle part of the floor right. So yeah, I think we want a timeout called. They're waiting for the timeout. Bench timeout going to be called.
Yeah, Brandon.
Who called that first? They call it?
I give Pat the credit for that one.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Kim.
He's got two, I got one.
Age doesn't have a seniority in that one, you would think.
Well, they'll probably use them all in the next 2 minutes, extend this game a few minutes.
Well, they will. They're going to try and extend it. So the timeout was actually called this time by Team Canada. Two coaches smiling at each other over at the side of the bench right here.
Well,
Who wants to call the timeout, me or you?
Okay, those two worked together from 2010 till 2006, so I'm sure they have quite the relationship.
Fair to say they know each other fairly well.
Yes, yes.
Ah, that's good. That's nice to see.
Yeah.
Nice friendly relationship.
Yeah.
So they have it. Waits. Canada comes back down. Heavy check on the far side right there. Morrow was the one that goes, is he going to go back in? Oh, almost fooled me on that play right there. He turns. He holds onto it. Trying to set something up. They're trying to run the pick play so he can go on the far side. Couldn't get it across. That time he gets it across. Nice play to dump it back inside to Whitehead.
Yeah, that was a good attack against the key there for Canada. Mike's a big guy in the key. Hit him. Easy goal.
Yeah, very much. Just picked him up all by himself because he was wide open in the middle.
Yeah.
Key play right there. Nothing wrong with that. So they go back the other way, waiting for it, trying to get up to mid-floor. They do. Somehow they get up to mid-floor. Looks a one-hopper back down. A big bomb right there. Nagasawa looks, has it, throws it all the way back. They didn't get across the line. I just thought they were going to wheel across the line, but they just took their time and killing time off of the clock right now with 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, they're practicing as if it was a one-goal game, and they're holding on to try and score the last goal of the quarter. You're always working on something out there.
And that's a smart move. That's just, good instruction coming in from the bench sometimes.
Yes, yes. Number 13 or 33U, first time I saw him was in 2007. He was a tip-off specialist. They had him sitting in a chair higher than everybody I've seen, anybody I've seen playing before, and they would just basically put him out there to take the tip-off and score first goal for them. It worked really well in overtimes.
Is that allowed? Obviously.
Well, the chairs obviously have specs that you've got to adhere to, but his chair was legal, so
Wow.
It didn't last very long, but it certainly won them. It was in 2007 at the Oceania Championships in Sydney, and it won them in overtime because he was able to win the tip-off.
Boy, I bet that had a lot of people talking, but if it's not against the rules and you can work it, that's what they do.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like role player.
We have a situation on the floor. We've got to change a wheel.
Yeah, equipment timeout. It's going to cost him $5 with 20 seconds left in the game.
No kidding. Is that Canadian $5 or American $5?
No, it's a Canadian $5.
Oh, darn. So they will wait, get this one back in play right now.
It's Tim Witowski out there changing the equipment for Travis. Equipment people are the unsung heroes of
They are.
wheelchair rugby. You know, if
Indeed
your equipment is not running well, you are not running well.
And these are not cheap pieces of equipment either.
No, they are not cheap pieces of equipment, unfortunately. They're still considered medical supplies, and you can't just run down to a Canadian Tire and pick one up, unfortunately.
No, you sure can't. So they're rolling their way back inside. Looks, thinking about what he's going to do. Just looks at the clock, sets it back up. Going to go back around, thinking about going in. Waits, will he go across the line or pass it inside? Will he go across? Waits, looks just going to kill some time off of the clock right now. Get across the line. They do. They manage to get one across the line with 0.7 seconds remaining. Waiting for this one. Last long bomb for Canada. Try and set it up. Heads up. It's coming over to our broadcast location. There it is. Oh, that woke the scorekeepers up. Nobody got possession. Everybody set their alarm on that one over here, so they'll wait.
Yeah, no touch on the inbound, so they're going to force them to inbound it in the corner again. Japan will see if it can punch one more goal.
They're questioning this one right now, so this should be a Japanese ball, shouldn't it? For Team Japan?
It is Japanese ball, I believe. Somebody's got to inbound.
It's just a standoff right there. They were waiting to see who was going to get the ball.
We'll see what kind of range Yu has on his inbound here.
Long range.
Oh.
No.
Not distance was there, accuracy close, but not quite.
Well, the distance, and you talked about what the distance was going to be going across the line. That was pretty remarkable because I didn't think he was going to have the ability to get that far in.
Yeah, good job by them.
Yeah, no kidding. Very, very strong. So you watch the players right now, despite the fact that the final score was 53-45. That was an exceptionally well-played game, and I was impressed with the talent level of what I saw for the players of both teams. Play hard, play aggressive, play very physical, but they play within the rules.
They did, and I think that both coaches will go away. There were could have been better moments, but at the end of the day, I'm sure the game plans were to get the young guys on the court, and that happened, and that will bode well for the future.
I'm assuming there's strategy involved with this when they do video replays for the players and take shots and break plays down to show how the players what they're doing in today's age of technology.
Yes, above us, up in the weight room, both teams will have performance analysts using software programs to record events, and coaches will analyze them and decide what they're going to show to the athletes for improvement. And it's a lot of video work. I do a lot of it. Is very time consuming, and it certainly helps with the team's performance.
Very much. You watch Team Japan over there bowing to their fans that have come in and their supporters over on the far side. So that's a nice feeling when they're coming from such a distance, but they do get all their fan support over here. They're getting a lot of support over here. Our Team Canada down on the far end to our broadcast right, getting a lot of support as well. So overall, of today's games from the Oval.
Well, I think really the game ended up the way we thought it would. Canada was in tough because it's difficult matching up against the two top players from Japan. But I was happy with the progression I saw some of the young players for Canada. They were out there in key moments, making key decisions, and now obviously learning from their mistakes and building for the future will be. I don't want to say the word key again, but I'm going to key to their success. Well,
it's such a quick transition game. You've got to be so alert and so agile. And we talked earlier on. I've been talking about it throughout the course today. Is the upper body strength that these players share, and they have, because it's like no other sport.
It is like no other sport. It's one of those ones where when you get involved, you get addicted. And it's much louder in person because when the wheelchairs are 40 pounds and the athletes are, between 150 and 200, that's a lot of mass going quite fast and not running into each other.
Well, if you're going to get addicted to anything, get addicted to this. It's better than drugs, I can tell you that. Boy, oh boy, this is very impressive, and it's been a great game. And so far, we talked about the games that we saw played today. Had the luxury of calling 4 games. And games tomorrow for the tournament schedule. We should make mention that tomorrow's games start here at the Richmond Oval at 11 a.m. On court number 1, you'll see Canada taking on the US of A, the United States right here, court 1. And court 2 will be Japan and Sweden. At 1 p.m., Australia will take on Denmark. And at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you have the United States taking on Sweden. So that'll be the U.S. second game of the day. And Sweden's also second game of the day. And then the final game of the day tomorrow at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Canada will play host to Australia. And Denmark will take on Japan here. Both games, 5 o'clock, court 1 and court 2 respectively. Sunday morning's games will see 10 a.m. start. 5th place versus the 6th place team, and noon hour on Sunday. Father's Day, we should make mention, will be the 3rd place and 4th place teams taking on. That'll be the bronze medal game. And the game at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1st and 2nd place teams taking on each other to see who comes out successful for the gold medal championship games, followed by the closing ceremonies at 3:45 in the afternoon. If you have never seen one of these games before, come on out, take the games in, because it's been really, really remarkable to cover. Covered a lot of different sporting events. I've actually come out and seen the events being played here before. Never had the luxury of doing a broadcast. I want to thank Nathan for having me out here doing the games. It's been really remarkable. Adam, final thoughts on today's game?
Just like I mentioned before, good effort by both teams. Obviously working on what they're going to look at Worlds, and I'm looking forward to the games tomorrow. Well,
I appreciate all the insight you've added into the game today, and it's been fun covering the game with you and being able to work with you for the finals game. Hope we can do this later on down the road sooner on.
I'm sure we will see each other again before the end of the week.
That's exactly right. Hopefully a couple of Island boys working over here. Nothing wrong with that as well. On behalf of Adam Frost, everybody else connected with the Wheelchair Rugby Canada Cup 2018. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Drive safe, travel safe, put your phones down, don't text and drive. And lastly, good night from the Richmond Oval. If you don't play sport, at least be one.